it's easy to sit down and talk to people in a kind of a controlled environment, right? Um, it's a call-in show where there's no filtering. There like, and so a lot of the problem with the world right now, and it's a dangerous thing, is they've gotten into these echo chambers. Like, this is the first time in ever that you can choose exactly what you listen to and what you don't. And if you don't agree with it, it means it's wrong and you turn it off. And so basically you can just literally find your own places to support your own bullshit, which we all know is very, very dangerous. And that's what you see right now. Like, their ideas aren't being challenged. So then great ideas are getting left behind sometimes because they're not being put in the pressure cooker and they're not being challenged, and people aren't having to grow because we don't have to stand face to face and we don't have to talk and like we don't have to communicate, and like our ideas and stuff are like they're only challenged when we want them to be challenged, right? And like that's how weakness begins. And
I think that we started when parents started telling kids, don't talk about politics, religion, or these things, because then there could be friction, when the reality is we had to be teaching. Like, I intentionally...
Well, lawyers said that. Lawyers started this.
Yeah, well, I've tried to make it to where I'm like, not only do I want my kids to be able to talk about it high, wide, and deep, but I'm like, they should be tolerant of any... Like, just because they don't believe in what we believe in doesn't make them stupid. And try to find a way to have friendships and relationships with people that are completely the opposite. I mean, I have a dozen people that work with me that could not be more opposite than me in every aspect of what they do, but they're a blind spot to me in that sense, and that's why they're there, is to speak and see those things that I don't see.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like with me, like, man, I don't care who you pray to or who you vote for, right? Or who you sleep
Nobody
with,
does
or
in
who
the
you sleep
military.
with. Nobody gives a shit, right?
Nobody cares.
Like, I didn't go over and fight for, I didn't go over and fight for white people. I didn't go over and fight for African Americans. I didn't go over and fight for Hispanics, right? I didn't go fight for Democrats. I didn't fight for Republicans either, right? I didn't fight for Muslims. I didn't fight for Christians, right? Like, I fought for Americans. And what people forget is that without all those things, you don't have Americans, right? And all those things that's what makes this country the greatest country on the face of the planet.
I agree.
And, and that's kind of the way that I live. That's the way I teach my kids. I want them to understand that, like, everybody has a different view and everybody's important. And, you shouldn't judge people based off of what they believe. You should you should judge people based off of what they do.
Yeah. Actions only.
Right.